The judgment is near for white America. Everywhere that we look and everything that we can think about marks the end of this world. There were there was never a time in the history of the United States of America that the president goes out to travel to visit the heads of all of a nation that seemed to be somewhat his equal. He is like a criminal who have committed a crime and he hopes for mercy from those he had committed the crime against. We cannot escape our doom when it comes teaching the Holy Quran and the Bible. They showed no mercy at all to the black slave. They treated the black slave worse than any human being had ever been treated. They continue to do so in the face of divine judgment. Remind you of the parable of the rich man and the poor man. As long as the rich man enjoyed luxury, he cares nothing about luxury for his slave Lazarus. Then at last the rich man fall into poverty. He was unable to get help even from himself. The Bible says of the poor black slave that none helped them. Now the rich man gets in the place of his one slave. The rich man can witness how it feels to be a poor man. The parable says at last the rich man died. In hell he lifted up his eyes. He saw his slave in the blossom of Abraham in the heaven that the slave had been promised that he would get into. It was such a beautiful heaven that the poor slave was lolling around in. The rich man cried out to the slave to share hell with him. He asked the slave to bring him a drop of water in hell. He knew that if the slave tried to get to hell with a drop of water, the slave would never get to heaven. The rich man would be happy if he received a drop of water to ease his pain and torment. But if the slave could not come to him with a drop of water, and go to some of the rich man's brother, who the rich man knew was bound to get a taste of the same hell that the rich man was in. The rich man says, Father Abraham, if you will not let Lazarus come to me, and send him to my brother, and words to say, they are bound to get hell too. So I said to you, the time is not far. This parable is now in the working. I said to you, my black brothers, Lazarus tried to stay in the blossom of Abraham, because no man came to us, as the Bible teaches us. No man came to the poor Lazarus, lost found. No one aided him. I had been begging for help to borrow money, saying that we would give the extreme interest. No one have come to our aid yet. The white man has tried to prevent everyone who would give us a little help. So Allah God came to help us from ourselves. May Allah God bless us to do His will and bless us to please Him. For Allah God's only hope that we have. I do not care what interest we offer. No one wanted to loan us. They know that we are well worth the loan, but they do not want us to be helped in. They figure we are going too fast as it is. But which man, oh which man, your days have come, your fall has come, and no one will help you. They do not want to come near. They see the divine destruction licking its tongue about you on all sides. They do not want to get near to you. Europe is standing far and will not come near. She does not want anything of you. Europe see your doom. She does not want any herself. Whom to the white slave master in hell he lift up his eyes. The worst is yet to come, according to the radio and television, and according to the individual conversation, and according to the conversation heard between governments officials concerning the problem of trying to find a way to peace for the people and a way to find a stoppage of the fall of the money market and unemployment and a stoppage to the revolution between the dissatisfied and the dissatisfied to find a way to be able to eat and to keep them hungry, eating from his own labor. Pacification is offered but does not satisfy. With nation rejecting peace offer, and nation laughing and making mock of you for every sect, peace, and friendship. As it is written, peace is desired more than fine gold. Now to see all these things coming to pass, things that we did not know that we would see, We did not know that we would see such a Goliath, such a giant fall. Goliath who had defiled the nation of the earth to come out and fight with them, as Goliath did before Israel. Now nation make mock of the great giant of the earth, America. The sword within and the sword without, trouble seemed to have no end. And with tens of millions of free black slaves crying for freedom, justice, and equality from their white slave master. And the white slave master wanted to deceive the black slave and make promises that the white slave master does not intend to fulfill to free his black slaves. And with the free black slave thinking that he will eat some crumbs of freedom, justice, and equality from his white slave master, the free black slave will be greatly deceived. The white slave master cannot free himself from his enemy, not to think of this white slave master free himself from the consequences of the dissatisfied world. So with the worst yet to come, I said to you, my black brothers and black sisters, fly to Allah and come follow me. There are some intelligent white people who will bear witness with me that the worst is yet to come. Look at Texas. There is a warden at a certain prison house who send the believers Muslims to the temple so that they may listen to the truth, which is their starvation today, to accept the truth. I think that this is a very wise warden. It is like the Abel journal Bible. The general knew that the Abel was wrong and that Elijah was right. The general took 400 of Elijah's followers and hid and fed them with the bread in order to save them from hunger while they was in captivity. I said to you, leaders, remember the above says of this writing that the worst is yet to come. As the Bible teaches us, that a time will come that have never come before, and that those who understood, their hearts will be filling them with fear, and their eyes will go away and they hold, for looking at things that they saw coming on their people, the trouble, the destruction, and the pledges. Look at the earthquakes that are taking place. Those earthquakes are on the way here. We are feeling the earth shaking on our feet across the country. And as the Holy Quran prophesies to us, you will hear it coming from a distant place with the vehement, raging, and warring. America be set all around now with trouble and destruction which have happened. America thought that she was immune to the trouble and destruction which are going on in other nations. Now the same trouble and destruction that you read of as happening in other countries and other nations, the same trouble and destruction with their evil and gruesome sounds are knocking on the door of America. Amen, amen, amen. Okay, let's go back. Washington, D.C., a speech of May 29, 1959. The followers are excerpts from a speech I delivered before a gathering of well over 10,000 people. Washington, D.C., Sunday, May 29, 1959. My people and I are here to fulfill a promise made long ago. I'm here to bring you the truth. I'm here with a solution to the problem of the so-called and its white slave masters. You are seeking something. You are seeking an answer to your 400-year-old problem of servitude, slavery, and fifth-class citizenship. I'm here with a solution to that problem. You see how good it is then for black brothers of like minds and similar burdens to get together for a spiritual feast? For more than 400 years, your plea for justice, freedom, and equality, a decent place, and the sun have like thunderclaps sounding in the dark valleys of Lebanon. Yet there have not been any answer. Never in history of human evil has so many acts for just so loud, so long, receive in return so little, if anything at all. The church have failed you. Christianity have failed you. See, the government of America have failed you. You have not received justice from any quarter. As prophesied there, You, my fellow black mans, are as sheeps amongst wolves, and as it to be expected, every wolf is taking a bite at you. You approach the Senate, the House, yeah, the White House. You ask for justice. You get injustice. All our prayers have come to nothing because we have presented out of ignorancy. We are not known the true God. We are not known who is our brother. We are not known who is our enemy. We are not known who is God. Nor have we known who is the devil. In a nutshell, we have not known the truth about God, the devil, until that truth is made plain to us. Prayer for justice will forever go unanswered. Will be the subject of scorn and laughter. But now it should be ever so clear that the politics will no more solve our problems than it did the difficulties facing Israel during her bondage in Egypt. We have come to the brink of extinction. We must now and here and make our repraise of our way of life if we care anything for ourselves, our life, our people, our race, the future of our property, wives, and children. Justice is a common theme, yet man has sought its meaning in substance since time begun, that justice was nothing more than the wish of the strongest members of society. Jesus equated justice with brotherhood. William Shakespeare saw it as a matter of mercy. I'm here to tell you that justice is the eventual working out of the will of God, as indicated in the fundamental principles of truth. So we see William Shakespeare saw a matter of mercy because William Shakespeare, he didn't want no woman setting the stage. He didn't want no Africans. He wanted to set the stage. He didn't want nobody to set the stage but himself. So I'm here to tell you that justice is the eventual working out of the will of God as indicated in the fundamental principles of truth. Justice is. Now we see the weapon God will use to bring judgment upon the world, the purpose and consummation of his coming. Now the weapons God's going to use next year is going to be so much devastating because he's a God that's coming and making his presence felt. Although we are the chosen of God when it comes to justice, the so-called American Negro or the most deprived people on the planet Earth, have justice prevailed, there will be no need for a day of judgment to come today to plead not to the unjust judges of the world, but to that just judge to give the black man of America justice. And that just judge is Allah God. We have come to the end of the day of the unjust judges. Even though it may offend some, you must know the truth of it all. Now, the truth hurts the guilty. According to the saying of Jesus, the truth will make us free. The imperative needs is for a clear cut definition of that truth that will make us free. We must distinguish between the truth and the false so-called truth that have been handed down to us from generation by the white slave masters. We have been falsely taught that the truth was the matter of Jesus' birth and death, and that has been taught. And this is also false, that the truth is the revelation of Christianity. Neither of these is the truth. Neither of these will make you free. Because Jesus did not never preach Christianity. Jesus spoke about the religious scholars, but he never preached Christianity. Jesus even said in John 18:36 that my kingdom was not of this world. Because my kingdom was of this world, my servant would have prevent from my rest. But he says my kingdom belongs into another place. So how could he establish a kingdom in this world when he was speaking about a Caucasian people? They like to be dressed in the robes. They like to have the uppermost seats in God's house. They like to be heard. They had to have lengthy prayers. He spoke about the religious people or the Caucasian people. See, the truth to freedom is the knowledge of God. And the devil truth of yourself, others, and the real religion of God. How mistake you are to assume that Jesus was the final words of truth. Jesus himself admitted he could not tell it all, yet he promised that God would send one who would not only reveal the ultimate truth, but who will reveal it to the people lying in the mud of ignorance and shame. We, the fools of the world, will be the first to know that truth, not the rise of this world. This is not called for offense. For when God says he will reveal his truth to the fools of the world, it was a blessing, not an insult to us. And all this name us his chosen people. Thou it is that the problem of this black man in America has set off an air of troubling throughout the world. Till your problem is solved, there will not be peace for anyone. Today, then, is a new day drawing a new world. For the old days in the old world have passed away. So the old days in the old world have passed away. There has to be a new world to come in. In order for this new world to come in, the old world must be removed. And see, next year, 2025, see, the people are frightened because something gradually are approaching our earth. People are seeing strange sightings, UFOs, but I call them the mothership. And see, the motherships is here to destroy this present world. The Simpson had a prediction of 2025, how it will look. And I'm telling you how it's going to look. They're going to come down 40 miles above the Earth gravity. And when these UFOs come, as they are known as the mother planes, they come to this Earth gravity 40 miles to get all the ingredients that it needs whenever it needs refueling. See, this is not a plane to be played with. Other planes come out of the mother plane. See, the government knows that this plane is not to be played with. See, in the 1930s in the Canadian newspaper reported seeing the motherships. So they are here and they're not pleased. They are taking this earth and going to bring in a new civilization. A new heaven will occur after this old world must be removed. So we see the new days and the new world, if you please, cannot come in to full meaning until justice come to our people. The burden is not the oppressor alone. Much of it is upon us. Time have come when we must speak or die. Our leaders, or so-called leaders, are choked by fear. Such a leader is not worth the salt that lavishes bread. This fear is the root of their failures to tell you the truth. Now, this truth must come out. You have misunderstood the Bible. See, Christianity is a white man's religion, and it contains no salvation for the black man. For this very reason, the prayers of your preachers to the government, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost have fallen on deaf ears today. Now I ask you, what good is Christianity to you and to me? If that religion and the God of that religion will not defend us against lynching and rape, indeed we will be a fool to believe and trust such a religion and such a God, knowing that he'll bestow all his blessings upon our enemies. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are taught to look forward to a starvation that does not exist. Christianity offers you starvation after death. You must go down into the earth and rot. That kind of starvation I don't want. I will not give you 2 cents for it. Any man that will work hard all his life praying to God to take him and give him a home beyond the grave is a fool. I'm sorry if you think ill of me, but the truth is all I'm going to speak. The black man in America is in a terrible condition. He is blind, confused, wondering about a high noon on Judgment Day. As Judgment Day was not here, instead of some remote hour to come, I will not be bringing you this message at this hour. Elijah is here because the day of judgment is here. What a sorry spectacle we make before God and the nation of the world. Here we are upwards of 20 million black Americans who have given their blood and sweat and service for 400 years in the vain hope that one day justice will be ours. When the Cold War sounded, the black soldiers stood. The plain of Europe, Asia, Africa, America have been fertilized by his blood. Yet the governments of the nation in which he fought and who caused he died allowed his sons to be lynched and then add salt to the wound by concealing the identity of the lynchers. More, the government seeks out the lynchers and then turn them over to their fellow men who share the lynchers' cause and motive. Our daughters and wife are lynched before our eyes. The government will not put a stop to it. They will allow the lynchers to lynch you and me if we are charged with attempt to rape one of them. The lynchers live right next door, down the streets, up the alley, yet they are not brought to justice. All this grief you and I must suffer. All these burdens we must bear. It is beyond comprehension that the American government's mistress of the seas, lords of the air, and conquerors of outer space, of the land, and pourers of the deep bottom of the ocean, unable to defend us from assault, rape, murder on the streets of these jungles. What insane man could deny that it is now time that you and I take counsel amongst ourselves to the end of finding justice for ourselves? If we continue to accept these injustices, we are nothing but cowards. If we be cowards, then we ought to just go home, kill our wife, and then commit suicide. We kill the devil in Germany. We kill his brother for him. We kill our own brother for him. Yet we are without justice. We have nothing. Sons and daughters are lynched, kicked, beaten, hung up in the sun, drowned in the river and ponds and lakes. The bodies are found in the streets and on the highways, in the bushes, killed by the very people for whom they have slaved their life out to give comfort. When you stand up and speak a word on behalf of your own people, you are classified as a troublemaker. You are classified as a communist, as a race hater, and everything but good. How can you, as a people, ever be anything if you are going to crush out your leaders who try to seek justice for you, even at the cost of their own life? I, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, am classified as a race hater. What race? And what teaching in mind that you can classify as race hatred? How can a devil said little Elijah Muhammad is teaching race hatred in the face over 400 years of his hatred of you and me? If God have revealed to me the truth of this race of people and yourself, and I tell you of it, and that is the truth, then don't say that I'm teaching race hatred. Just say I teach the truth. There's only one thing that I'm teaching today, that is hatred. That is the truth of the devil. That truth, I don't know. Only God knows the truth of the devil. He has revealed it to me. If that is not the truth, let the devil attack God. If it is just that the truth have come to you people without the knowledge of the truth, they're deceived it and misled by wise, wicked scientists. I'm here with the truth from God Almighty, and from that truth, I will give my life. I will not hide that truth to introduce me to falsehood, and I won't mix it up with falsehood. I said to you, my beloved brothers and sisters of injustice, if you only reflect on what is said from the mouth of Elijah, you'll not take him for assault. You will not take him for a race hater. You will take him for a beloved brother and a beloved teacher and a beloved defender of yourself. I am not before you myself, and I have not been sent of myself. My mission is not from me, nor my mission from the devil. I have been sent by Almighty God Allah. It's a very strong and powerful mission that will bring a turning point in the history of the world at large. The black man in particular. The truth will make you free. What is that truth that will free us? He said we are already free. Abraham Lincoln freed us. See, that's not the kind of freedom which I speak. Abraham Lincoln was not an instrumental in trying to free you. Remember that Abraham Lincoln won the United States of America. They didn't want two governments. They didn't want two presidents. They wanted one government with one president for all. It was not that they were so full of love for the so-called nigger that he wanted to free them from the hands of his brother. But this was a good weapon to bring his brother to submission to his idea of the United States and one president of that United States. So therefore, you was just lucky that you got free from servitude and slavery at that time. Otherwise, you would probably still have been in servitude, slavery today. You said you love Lincoln. You love him because he freed us. I said to you, my beloved brothers and sisters, Mr. Lincoln was not your brother. He was not your friend any more than George Washington. Now we are 100 years up from slavery. Many of you feel proud that you have been schooled. You have a few diplomas and degrees. You can do little things educationally, but that does not get you justice in America. You still suffer injustice with an armful of diplomas and degrees from colleges and universities. Is that not right? Is that not right? I'm willing that you shoot me down and cut me down any way you please to get rid of me if I'm not right. If I'm right, be aware. What we want today is justice. We want the truth. The truth have come to you. You are not accepting it. Think over. Here are a few of us who accept God to be our Lord. We accept Islam to be our religion. An old religion as old as God himself. The religion of the prophet of all the righteous. A religion of freedom, justice, and equality. A religion of universal brotherhood. A religion that a brother will fight and die for his brother. A religion that believes in the laws that was given to Moses. An eye for an eye. And a tooth for a tooth. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look at this Christianity religion today. That law is killed. Why? Because the devil did not want to strike back at him. Therefore, they condemn an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth in their Christian religion. Because 22 million so-called might get an eye for an eye. It is nothing but the common law of justice. If you plunk out my eye, I shall try to plunk out yours. But you have been made such harmless slaves by the teaching of the slavery religion called Christianity, which teach you to love, not to strike back, but to turn the other cheek. It teaches you to give freedoms to the robbers. If you take one coat, then give him the coat also. Help the robbers to rob. Enrich the thief. See, that's the kind of religion that you are taught to believe. Enrich the thief. When they teach the prosperity, you continue to enrich the thieves. And that is God's religion today. I said, my friend, is a slavery teaching. It's against the very laws of nature of you and me to stand. Let someone slap us on one side of the cheek, and then we turn with enough love. I said cowardice in us, the unsmoked cheek. So you can't do that. It's against the laws of nature. America can't do it. When America cheeks is struck by an enemy, she prepare her armies to strike back. The Christian governments of America can't do it. See, this Pope of Rome can't do it. If you and I don't wake up to that knowledge and execute the law, an eye for an eye, you might as well be dead and forgotten. It is better for you and me to just go and commit suicide than for the enemy to come in our homes, drag us down, drag our daughters out, beat, lynch, and rape them while we stand by looking. If you and I are deprived of justice, if the federal government will not punish our murderers and our rapers, I said to you, we must get together and find some way to punish them ourselves. In the case of a recent lynching in Mississippi, the government agents spent a lot of time trying to find the lynch body, showed that he had been lynched. It would have been easier to find the murderers than a dead body, according to the paper. That is all you and I have to go by the government's know the lynchers. Who runs the world? God is running the world, not the white race, not the right race. God is taking back what is his. He's not going to give this earth to these non-owners. The earth is out their reach. They will destroy this earth. You see, Pharaoh political party refused to give up his party. So white America is going to refuse to give up their power. Because their power It's out of reach. They can no longer rule no more. They can no longer subdue no more. It's over. 2025, the Simpson prediction of the UFOs. I call them motherships. They're going to come to destroy the world. You will see things being displayed from the heaven and earth. You will see this with your own eyes. And it says, great is the Lord beyond the border of Israel, because Edom will be reckoned with. See, if thieves came to you, if if grape pickers came, how many grapes would they steal? So we have come to a point where we must find justice for ourselves or commit suicide. What good is your life and my life if we had no protection today? If I was a black woman and my man was such cowards that they would not try and defend me and the children I produce, I would get a shotgun and kill myself. This is nothing but right. This thing has come to a point of expulsion. I'm your brother. Your hurt is my hurt. It doesn't make any difference with me what religion you are, as long as you are a black man or a member of the darker people. You and I are brothers. Your hurt is my hurt. How many years have you been frightened? Keep your mouth shut. You see, don't say that. It's not time. When it's going to get time for you to speak up for yourself. You cannot blame the government for not giving you anything. You're not asking for anything. The only thing that you are pleading for is a job. Is it not true that John Hawkins, the slave trader of our people, brought you and me here for just the purpose of working for the white man? He didn't bring you here to make you, the white man, equal. It is satanic evidence by now that was never intended that you be a full citizen owner or an office holder in America. Your role was that of a slave. See, John Hawkins took 300 Africans and used them as slaves and sent them off into America. See, John Hawkins was one of a Christian ruler. So he tried out 3 African Americans to put them on the slave ship, to bring them on board. And ever since then, our fathers did the labor for us, made a way for us, to give us all the luxurious things that man can enjoy. And that's his freedom. So I say the country cannot be said to be the white man's home. So today we see your role was that of a slave. Today, even for 400 years have elapsed. That intends underlying your role in American body of politics today. How patent a sight many of us make as we boast of our education and our attainment, of our measure of our economic growth. All these things are illusion when rightly viewed. Your education had been designed by the oppressors with a scientific of intent of keeping you in servitude. The economic growth had been achieved by the installment buying, which is now clearly shown to be the bag of rope about the neck of the black man. Our oppressor owned and controlled everything. We had nothing. What then is the base of our valid and foolish pride? Something must be wrong upstairs. I asked you how, in the name of common sense, can we be satisfied with our road of servitude and as the helpless victims of injustice? If we have simple intelligence and love for our fellow man, we must sound the alarm and let the world know we are not satisfied. We must shake off the dead, dumb, and blind shackles that have beset us from generation and move toward unity of our kind. This is the truth. The truth hurts. I will speak it or die. I'm not afraid to die for truth indeed. I did not take this mission to try to save my life. I took the mission to fulfill truth, even at the cost of death. We must unite at all costs. Once united, we must stand fully packed as a wall against injustice. If your brother does not want to unite with you, you must teach him, court him, urge him, persuade him by all method available until he realizes that he too must give his all on the altar of justice. For, for what if 10 million of us die in the process? Remain 7 million or more of us will enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Allah is significant for all our needs. That's why I do not have to beg from the oppressor or march on a capital with my hat in my hand. For how can I, on one hand, preach the doom of the oppressor system, and then, with the other hand, ask of the oppressors? Allah is our God. We are His flesh. He has given all the world to us. If we will but first give our all to Him and met with Allah as Moses met with Jehovah. Allah have revealed the truth into me. It's up to you to believe it or let it alone. But this does not negate the fact that I know the end of it all. I know tomorrow I will be happy to tell it to you if you will believe it. I want you to know that the oppressor are exerting every effort to prevent you and me from uniting. They do not want to unite me. They do not want an Islamic so-called. They know that Islam frees the black man from fear. As a result, it set the oppressor teeth on edge. The power of Islam is best seen when compared to the failure of Christianity. First, Christianity had failed you because it was the religion that first placed you in slavery. Secondly, Christianity had failed you because through its doctrines of turning the other cheek, it has rendered you incapable of defending yourself in the very hour. Thirdly, Christianity has failed you because it has caused you to forsake the pursuit of justice in this world and the pursuit of an illusory and non-existent justice beyond the grave. Now, my beloved, you are faced with this same problem that beset Moses and the children of Israel during the era of Egyptian captivity. Pharaoh did not want Moses to preach the religion of Jehovah in Egypt because Pharaoh knew such preaching would bring a damnation to his wicked kingdom. So it is that the oppressors did not want you to hear the gospel of the black man. They know that this gospel will one day be their undoing. Pharaoh did not want Moses to call the Jews to the wall to whine at sundown. He knew that once the Jews was united in the name of the religion of their fathers, they would no longer abide in slavery. Pharaoh did not want Moses to teach the gospel of justice on this side of the grave. He knew that once the Jews determined in their hearts to seek justice here and now, they would rise up and demand a place in the sun. So then, it is with us. See, our oppressors are determined to keep our eyes in the sky while they control the lands on our feet. They are determined to blow us down in an unpractical act of turning the other cheek, the better that they may smack our cheeks and rob our pockets. We must not be deceived by the rush towards integration that had become the theme of the past few years, just as the Romans were. To beware of the slave master bearing integration. Why I ask you, after 400 years of murder, rape, slavery, do the oppressor now come in raving the olive branch of integration? Is it that they really love us? Is it that they are sincerely sorry for their sins and seek restitution? If they love us, then what was the evidence of this love in the hearts of their forefathers when they sold our forefathers like cattle on the block? If they are really seeking, then why do they not offer us some measure of restitution? An area of this country we can call home to sons and daughters. They are not come to this hour because they love us, nor is integration a sign that they are sorry for their sins. The blunt fact is our oppressors see fire coming, They see the handwritings on the walls and know what it means. They will have you believe that the days ahead hold glory for the Christian world. My beloved, I, Elijah Muhammad, must speak if it kills me, and who will die whether than lie. Tell you this, I know tomorrow. I know the end of it all. Tomorrow is not heaven for the Christian world. Tomorrow is hell for the Christian world. You have a blind spot because you have not come to the religion of your people. Instead, you are weeping, mourning over the death of Jesus 2,000 years ago. You are going insane over the preaching of Jesus' life and death. Yet you don't weep, mourn, or go insane over the rape and lynching of your own people in your own time. It is a modern disgrace to see you shouting and having spasm in your church over the mistaken notion that God gave his only son to save the Christian world. What a shame. What fool God will give his only son to save the devil. What fool people would give they all in a vain hope that the devil can change his horn and lay down his pitchfork. The religion that have brought us to the pink of destruction is the way of the oppressors. It is not our faith, it is not natural to us. Even more, our oppressor cannot follow the very religion he will teach us. I have no alternative but to tell you that there is no life beyond the grave. There is no justice in the street by. We see immorality is now here. We are the blessed of God. We must exert every means to protect ourselves. The message I bring is not for the cowards. Those of you who follow me must be ready to withstand the bribe of insults of those who come to investigate, to pride and claim that our ultimate aim is to undermine the American way of life. We have no such intentions. Our critics know it. There is nothing on the rug about what I say and teach. It's shouted over the air in the newspapers and on the street corners. Why then should you be intimidated by those who seek only to throw fear in your hearts and know what we say is right? How ironic it is that the very people who charge us with disturbance the status quo themselves go around raping, lynching, denying citizens the right to vote, and taking the hall of Congress, call you and me and everything from a beast to a mortal entity. Yet they unite with their own kind. They give aid and comfort to their own kind. They bring their common enemies to nothing. When then is it so wrong that you and I unite for the same end? If you listen well, you can hear the scream of a Negro in Tallahassee as she finally bade her four right abductors to leave her virtue intact. If you listen a little longer, you can hear the plea of Milwaukee black mother as she begged police to free her 6 and 7-year-old daughter from a right abductor who held them captive and took the carnal liberty with them for over an hour. These acts of carnage must come to an end. To that end, I suggest the following. First, we must discipline our women, if any of them are so blind as to consort with their oppressors, and we must take counsel amongst ourselves and with her. We must exert every pressure at our commands until she will have returned to a state of loyalty to her own. Much of the defection amongst women scheme from the fact that they have been corroborated into following the oppressor style when it comes to hair, dress, and clothing. These are the baggage to sin that cause man to yearn. If you study the custom and transition of Islamic countries, you will see the proper matter of dress. These are the rules we must lay down and enforce, for women are to receive the respect due them. Of course, it must be realized that the oppressors seeks out our women to debase them. There is no real love and affection in his heart for them or us. She but become the tool of his pleasure, the object of his succor. Second, we must realize the difference between integration and separation. To integrate with evil is to be destroyed with evil. but we want indeed justice for us to be set apart. We want and must insist upon an area in this land that we can call home. Soon we can go and hold our head with pride and dignity without the continued harassment of indignity of the oppressors. Thirdly, we must realize that the black man in Africa is our brother, and our central responsibility is with the black man here in the wilderness of North America. For us to spend our energy pleading for the cause of Africa is like a blind man pleading that his fellow blind man be given eyes while he continues to stumble in darkness. The solution to all of these problems lies in a clear-cut understanding of the truth. I have come to bring you that truth. Now I spell it out so that even the children amongst you may know the nature of tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. First of all, we must know the truth about God and the devil. We, the black man, are God. Our oppressors, whoever they may be, are the devils. Their nature is evil. They are incapable of doing good. Secondly, I must tell you the truth about the day of judgment. You have been taught that one day the dead and God shall rise again. You have taken that to mean that people will get up from the graveyard and walk about. There is so much nonsense. Properly read, the resurrection means that we, the black man of North America, arrive from a mental death. Realize who we are. Discover who God is. Name the devil for the beast that he is. And like Joseph, go on to become master in the land wherein once you were a slave. The dawn of a new day. America burdened in trying to protect herself from the attacking nation of the world is tremendous, one that she will not be able to carry. Therefore, she must succumb to the powerful forces that are coming against her. The fall of a nation makes way for another, as the earth continues, and all nations and their civilization are limited upon it, except the original nation, which takes on renewal and changes. Though in appearance, America seems steadfast, we see she is moving towards an ultimate end. One great problem to be solved in the fall of America is the liberation of the so-called American Negro, the lost and found people of the original black nation of the earth. They have been here for 4 centuries, mistreated, and brought into a state of corruption and shame. Now they are being helped, although they are as blind mentally as someone is physically. In all the preparation of divine supreme being and a nation of righteousness to remove the enemy of God and the righteous from the earth. The poor so-called American Negro cannot see it. In the South, we saw Reverend Martin King Jr., a graduate, theologically, as I'm told, on his knees, begging the divinely condemned people, the right race, for brotherhood. You, the so-called Negro, are too spiritually, mentally blind to see. Your heart is too hard against receiving the truth, and your ears are too duly close to the truth that God Allah has said. The right race is the race of devils, created to be destroyed. This is truth, is certified in the Bible and the Holy Quran. We see hundreds of thousands of preachers tremble at the thought of ever accepting the truth and wish to take the followers until the fall of white America. This is the problem to be solved. If it is to be solved, then how shall it be solved, and what is the best method to use in the solution? It must be a solution that touches not only the enemy, but those who cleave to him, while defiling the wrath of Almighty Allah God. It is in Cupid, said the Holy Quran, that Allah give life to the mentally dead, so-called. It's also made in keeping. And the Bible where Ezekiel declared in his vision, all of the dry bones was resurrected. This does not refer so much to the word, because the word has no effect on the resurrection. It literally took something more effective than a word. The wind that the prophet was to prophesy to represent war, which will eventually bring harm and suffering to rebellious rejectors of the truth. Salvation must come to the so-called man. Everyone's eyes should be open. The time of the ending of this world is now, and not yet to come, as you so foolishly think. Study your own Bible. It is there. The end is predicted and hint in many places. Daniel in the Bible, however, gives you better knowledge of it than any other place. And the Quran prophesies exact. Do not expect 10 more years. The fall will be within a few days. Because we know it had been a year that far that God has been pleasing America. See, the fall of America, we don't have to wait 20, 15 years, 10 years from now. The fall is within a few days. And believe me, it's coming. And it couldn't come no faster than what we are witnessing. So we see the so-called Negro must be stripped completely of the white man way of life, his name, and Christianity. The world of scholars and scientists know that Christianity will not survive. They know that Islam is the only religion that will survive the destruction of this wicked civilization. Self first. Self first. We, the black people in America, do not think for self first. Failing to think for self first is the greatest mistake we, the poor black people who are up from servitude slavery, of the fathers can make. But for the slave master children, our failure to think for self first is wiser than anything their fathers could hardly dream of in a day and time. Self first. For 100 years, we the black people have not learned to think for self first. This is due to the fact that we try to think something for the benefits of the slave masters, something to make him smile at the free black slave, trying to win the love of the white slave master had been the black people's greatest mistake. Now it had become our greatest mistake. To have love for them, right race means the fire of hell. The God has heated. It's being heated up for both you who love the devil and the devil too. Do not blame this white slave master for your love and desire for them above your love and desire for Allah God who loves you. While the white slave master, the devil, does not love you. The devil nature will not let him love you. The white slave master is so full of deceits that he can deceive you and all others. The Bible teaches us. Holy Quran refers to this white slave master, the devil, as the arch deceivers. As the deceivers, the devil has no equal. He is the professional, the wisest of all deceivers. So from the slave master preachers making parents up today, he is the professional and wisest deceivers of all of the civilization of the earth. And he has deceived all of the civilization of the earth. The Bible teaches you that he deceived the whole world. The white slave master, the devil, did not deceive us, the black people in America alone. He has deceived every human being, well, except the angels of heaven. The arch deceiver, the white man, has deceived the reverends that he has made. This is why they will not accept Islam. They would rather go to hell with the white slave master, the devil, if the devil would just honor them as reverends the devil has made. In the Bible, John and the Revelation sees the preachers and his followers burning in hellfire with the devil, the white slave masters. I do not care how much you teach or tell the reverends that he is headed for hell and following the white slave master, the devil. They ignore the warning for the sake of the honor of the white slave masters. But when you look into it, you see that the white slave master is not honoring the reverends. He is fooling him. The white slave master cares nothing about the reverend that he has made. He thinks that the reverend is a fool for following him. It is written in the Bible, which teach the reverends against following the devil. The people who work as a devil disciple are called reverends. The word reverend means to respect, but this is a false honor from the devil. And yet the reverend goes still. He will walk right into that lake of hellfire with the devil, as long as the devil call him reverend or father. Some of the devil disciples are called father after the Pope, the chief father of Satan religion of Christianity. Pope claimed in the Bible that he was sit in the side of the north and be like the Most High. Isaiah 14:13, 14. Yet Allah God promised to pull him down to hell Allah is going to pull him down real fast. Okay, the home of the Pope have gotten one of the worst beaten with players, snow, and ice. The enemy, the worst beatings that you ever could have imagined coming to the head of the church. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the most merciful, God is master of this day of judgment. Now tell me something. Why should there be a judgment? Why? Are there any accessory for it? You see, many of us, my dear brothers, have been in front of the judges. And my dear brothers, you have been before the judges. But you know that these judges in the world judge with no justice. And that some of us have been with them long enough that we don't think to see any justice done. Isn't that right? So now we take our cases to court. You know, it's natural. It's what as good citizens should do. But we see the judges of this world are not just judges. And since that there is no real justice in this world, this is why the world needs to be judged. And this is why there will be a day of judgment and a limit set on America and against this world. So what is the judgment? Judgment. Judgment. Now, when you get a judgment, what do that mean? That means that a judge has rendered a decision. And that decision is called the judgment. You see, the judgment is when he or she makes the call, makes a discretion, opinion, whether they judge authoritatively or rise a good sense or good discretion. Now, the judge, he or she, can sentence you to life without the possibility of parole. Now, listen carefully now. God has sent down his judgment, a total judgment against America. Now, you might say, am I an American citizen? Are we citizens? Well, in fact, we don't have the laws because the laws today wasn't made for you and I. So, if I'm a citizen of this country, then where's the evidence of me being a citizen here? See, the enemy, he can put a little trick on his 13 commandments. See, however, he called us citizen, but however, we've been convicted with the crime. Now, today, they're trying to convict more black people with crimes to rob them, to whatever was necessary. So, you are trickily and deceitfully and demonically said that you gave us. But every time we try to exercise these rights that you say we have, you know, they find a way to destroy it. So most of us will befriend our murderers. Most of us want to marry the enemy. Most of us are in love with the enemy. So if God sends down his judgment on the enemy that you are in love with, you say, well, no, God, I ain't going with you unless I bring white folks with me. Yes, my brothers and sisters, this is you. Some of you will just say, the hell with you, God. I know that there's some good white people. And then you start making yourself busy trying to find someone good that you can tell your God, to your own God. See, you remind me of Abraham. When Abraham went to the angels and told the angels, will you destroy the righteous with the wicked? He said, well, go see, can you find 50? Now, if you find 50, I will not spare the city. But Abraham couldn't find 50. Then he said, go see, can you find 40? Then he said, well, go see, can you find me 30? Then he said, well, just go see, can you bring me one outside of Lot's and his families? If you can bring me one, I spare the city. See, God delays judgment so that the people that he has judged are not worthy of what they bought to get. Now, I say this, America is facing a judgment similar to ancient Babylon. She's in this judgment, and she had been in this judgment for some time. Now, the ruler of this world refused to give this up. We see Pharaoh political party refuse. So brothers, in other words, they will hold on to their power. They'll hold on to their possession. They'll hold on to their concession, the merchandise that they have plotted out from under the nose and eyes of the real original owners of the black man. So with that being said, we know that the country of America cannot be said to be the white man's own. But now, after conquering and taking the land from the native Indians, who had that independent claim, called the country of America. Now, we are the native people. Now, they want to block us out, but we are the native people. Even though they want to block us out. But the time is coming that God is going to take back and give the land to a people that he will give it to. So a time has come. A time has approached that an end has to come on this world that we have all known. White man's world. This is a white man's world that must be attested. And see, you think she's getting away, but another disaster is coming. And another one will come to strike her. So the wicked today, when they think that they can thwart his plan, when they think that they are mightier than God, till he comes to take what belongs to him. And I said, never, no more will the earth be let out to these non-owners. You see, the earth is the Lord and the fullness of it. And he don't like you, governor earth. He moves them off the earth as he's doing today. Psalms chapter 2, verse 4, he will sit in the heavens. He shall laugh. He'll have you in humiliation. He'll have them in confusion. So I say this before I close, confusion of the people. Confusion. That he will confuse these people. Because today we are living in a confusion world. So it has to be a change of worlds. The old world must die out in order for a new world to come in. So this is my take for 2025. An end is coming to this white man's world. You can go to the Simpson prediction. They know an end is coming. They have predicted that it will turn out. And it will turn out where it won't look good. They know that it's coming. And it can come no faster than what we all witnessing. All of us is witnessing, seeing this fall of America. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate all you guys. Keep your faith with God. This strive for full restoration. And said enough is enough. We want to change. It has to be a change. It has to be a solution to the problems we are dealing with. So I say thank you guys for tuning in. Peace. Shalom. May God be with you. It's time for our people to stand up, because our people needs to be repaired. Thank you guys.